Namaste everyone. Please make sure to have practiced preparatory class for few weeks before attempting final Hanumanasana. Key to achieve split lies in the preparations only. I have kept the link in the description box below, and please start the tutorial with a well warmed up body. We are practicing by the wall and we will need 2 blocks or something similar to the blocks like some heavy books. So we are going closer to wall. I'm standing 1 foot away from the wall. The same posture we want to do it in upside down position. So if you have a tight hamstring, you can adjust the height of the block according to your convenience. If you can keep the fingertips down, we'll start with the fingertips slightly ahead of the foot. I'm bringing my left knee on the wall. Toes are pointing forward. Walking hands forward just a bit so that I have a space to raise left leg a little more high. Once I stretch the left leg up and back, I am pushing my right foot all the way backward towards the wall and start walking hands towards the right foot. Push the navel in and work on straightening the right knee as much as you can. At the same time, stretching the left toes upward towards ceiling. Give a bend on the elbow and let your forehead or chin come close to right knee. Checking no stress on the shoulder and give a full focus on separating the legs away from each other. Checking the left thigh doesn't roll out. We want to rotate it inward. If in case you round the back, we can continue looking forward or stay a little higher using the blocks or the books. Try to hold the posture for 30 seconds to a minute, and to release the posture, walk hands forward, left foot down, bend the knees a little, hands on the hips and come up. Make sure to repeat the posture on the other side as well. Pause the video, maybe rewind and practice along. Here we are moving on to the next step. So I have taken a blanket to place under my left knee. I'm moving my left knee closer to wall and the left shin and the foot is touching the wall. Moving right foot forward. So knee and ankle in one straight line. And we are pushing the hips backward. So hips reaching towards the wall, hands on the hips. Let your hips go backward as much as you can. Push the navel in. You will feel the stretch on your left hip flexor. If you are steady enough, you can raise the arms upward, raising the shoulder blades upward. And continue moving hips backward. Pressing the right foot firmly and the left toes firmly on the wall. You'll have to see the toes don't move towards any of the side. That should be pointing upward. Now we are moving on to the next step. So grab 2 blocks or something similar to the block. Now, key point here is to have shoulders just above the hips. We don't want to move forward like this. So, check the spine is straight, keeping it upright. Shoulders and hips are in one straight line. And start to walk the foot forward. Foot reaching forward and do it within your limit. You might be here today and that's absolutely fine. We want to make sure we go forward with the square hips. So flex your ankle and see if you can push the hips downward. Keeping in mind that the left toes are still pointing upward. If your toes have moved, you might have to back up a little bit. Toes moving to the side wall indicates that the hips and leg alignment is missing. That can lead to many physical injuries. Now to push the hips downward, we can give a little pulses like this and see if it's helping you to sink the hips downward. Keep the chest lifted and keep your hands on the block until you have your hips completely on the floor. Once your hips are down, you might not need the block. Keep your right ankle flexed and we can bring palms on the chest. And if you're truly stable here, we can try raising arms over the head and see if we can bring it on the wall. You can try walking hands downward towards left foot and head going close to left heel. This might seem a little impossible in the beginning of the practice, but this posture is all about patience. All the qualities of Hanumana: serving, kindness, compassion, and patience. So by practicing this posture, we are working on developing these qualities. Now to come out of the posture, slowly drop hands on the floor. Give a lift on the hips. You can also use blocks. Increase the height. Bend the right knee. Push hips backward. And come back on the knee. Right, again, pause the video, rewind, and practice on the left side also. Alright, we'll try to work on the full posture now. So again, keep blocks next to you. Starting from all four, bring right foot between the hands. Stretch your left leg back as far as you can. Right, the back toes, we want to keep it tucked in. I will explain you why. And right now, keep your hands on the block. Again, your shoulders are just over the hips. Now press your hands on the block and start to walk your right foot forward. You might be here halfway again, and that's the reason we want to keep the back toes tucked in. If you point the back toes towards the back wall, the balancing will become too difficult and it will become too painful on the ankle. Again, I'm giving a little pulses to push my hips downward, and only when my hips are downward, I am pointing the left toes backward. Right, this one is very important here, and this is the one of the mistake that I've made for so many years, I think. So if you try leaning forward like this and then try pushing your toes forward, you're working only on the hamstring and not the hip. And that way you might just stay here. If you can back up a little bit, keep your spine straight, keeping your shoulders just over the hips, and try pushing hips downward, maybe by pulsing like this. Moving downward and opening hip will become much more easier. And one day your hips will be on the floor. And once your hips are down, you might not need a block. You can continue keeping your fingertips downward, making sure your left thigh is not rolled out. Both the thighs are in a neutral position. Front toes are in a flexed position, palms on the chest, or you can keep it on the block initially until you find the balance. And the full posture is a backward bend, so we want to reach back with both the arms, straight elbow looking backward, pushing the navel inward. To come out, bring palms on the chest, looking forward, fingertips on the floor. Push the navel, lift the hips up, bend the front knee, and very carefully coming out of the posture. You can take a break here and make sure to practice on the other side, rewind the video and repeat. I'll see you in the next video. Please take care.